Thank you, Simon G. And although more than 100 friends have registered, we already have roughly about 48 of our friends here right now. And what I'll do is I'll just kind of do the introductory bit. Um, th this software is something that I would not say I have envisaged, but I always wondered if such a kind of a thing can be done, and that was 22 years ago. 2004 and 5, I was in Bentley University in Massachusetts doing my PhD work, and my mentor was Mary Lynn Marcus. And there was a project I was doing with her as a part of the fellowship program, which was funded by the National Science Foundation. And it was about studying how 14 years of narrative have shaped Freddie Mac and Fannie Mae, the two mortgage banking institutions. And in those 6 months, I had to read and manually mark 14,000 printed out articles from journals and newspapers. 14,000, 1 4, and it was a bag full. It was like, about 5 feet tall, the total amount of stacked articles. And while I was reading, it was a manual coding, and I was thinking that would it be possible someday for astrologers to find out what would be the result of planets that work in unison, that work in tandem. And from my family, whenever I have done astrology and our family upbringing on astrology, it's always about that. It's not one single planet that gives out the result. It gives out the result with many planets working in tandem, in unison. So at the first level, the horoscope, it's working in tandem, in unison. At the second level, the different divisional charts, which are working in tandem. The third level, the dasha bhukti, antra, or the dashantar dasha, pratyantar dasha, and just a moment. So um, at the fourth level, the transits. So it's always the planets in togetherness that they work. And I used to wonder at that time that can such things happen ever in astrology, and it kind of remained in my subconscious. And last couple of years, with the advent of AI and large language machine modeling techniques and all that, I thought this is the time when we can try to do something which is going to be very meaningful. And that is how the idea germinated a couple of years ago. And I was not getting any developer who was able to understand or figure out how to do this. And then that's another side of the story of how we figured out all the technology and all that. So what I'm going to show you today is something which is a very advanced tool, and we have already we made it in such a way where it's going to grow as time goes on, because it's not like a static software which is made and then it's done, then the next version comes after a year or two, and then another version. It's not static. It's going to be on a weekly basis, on a monthly basis. It's going to grow in its intelligence, if I may use that word, because this is not a chatbot. What I'm going to show you, it's not a chatbot. It's an engine. It's an interpretive engine which is going to be on your laptop, and that's where the body is, and the soul is going to be in our server. And almost every week or month, we are going to keep on improving this engine as it goes by, and there's no cost involved in that. So those part I'll come later. But let me share my screen, And yeah, a good question. This currently we are launching it only for Windows 11, but in about 2 months of time, we are going to launch it for Apple Macintosh as well. So it's going to be for both Windows and Mac, and it has a lot of. It's very different kind, as I will show you now. Probably this is the first software in the world that does not require you to enter any date of birth, time of birth, and place of birth. Okay,
Hmm.
so we have done away with this problem that astrologers face. Is the birth time correct? Is the birthplace right? Latitude, longitude is correct. What is the iron amsha I'm going to take? What is the house division I'm going to choose? Placidus, topocentric, regiomontanus. No such confusion. You create your chart, whichever you want to be comfortable with. You want to do a Western chart, do a Western chart. You want to do Gemini, you do Gemini if you want. Okay, you want to do a Vedic Parashara system, do it. You want to do KP, do it. You create your chart and then come into the software. So that has been the thought process, which went into the designing. And I'm going to share my screen so that I can flip the um, software. So let me know if you are able to see everything. Let me also check if I can. Yeah, it's showing up. Very good. Okay, so this is my earlier software. I just kept this over here so that we can have a um, quick chart to do. But I would really love to have live chart inputs given to me, not something I'm picking up from Astro Data Bank. Okay, that's not what my aim is. Rather, the proof of the pudding lies in eating, and I want all of you to taste it today. So this is how the software CosmoKey would start up. As it starts up, I'll give you a quick intro on the interface. Right now, what you see is the main interface of the software, and this software requires an active internet connection to connect with our backend, where the soul lies. This is the body that you're going to have on your laptop, and this very simple interface. And what you have here in the left side panel are the different modules in this first version, 2026 version. We are having these modules, and that's 2026 01 version. Okay, you can see the version over here. It's 01. And there are three parts in this interface. One is the left menu panel, where all your modules are there, and this is the magnum opus module. Okay, combined result is a magnum opus, and
Hmm.
we will create something as we go ahead. So it's like planetary configuration. You select the lagnas and the different planets that you want to go ahead with. So there are 5 planetary configurations you can build. You can save the result and then again go for the remaining 4 if you want. But ideally, you are looking for some deep level information. It's not about how does Mesh Lagna behave, or how does what
Hmm.
happens with Mesh Lagna. So it's a much deeper level analysis that you would use this kind of a um, engine. So first we have the planetary configuration. I'm just giving you a go through of the different panels, and then we are going to go through each and every panel and the modules which are there. Second is additional interpretations. So we are building layer by layer so that when we come to combined result, there is something very deep, very solid that comes up. Then there are planetary relationships, mainly conjunctions and oppositions, which have a tremendous impact in any horoscope. There are, of course, other relationships that you can study, aspectual relationships, you can study that. Then there are retrograde interpretations, and retrograde planets have always been linked with, past birth karma, unfinished work, and delays, and all sorts of things. But we need to know what exactly happens in the horoscope. So retrograde interpretation module is there, and then comes dasha interpretation, your mahadasha. You can get results for your mahadasha, whether you want to check an old dasha or you want to predict a new dasha. Both ways you can use it, because the software is going to um, give you what you ask from it. So Mahadasha, Antardasha, and Pratyantardasha. Sometimes people love to also take node sign ownership. If you click on this, you would get the node sign as well. And once dasha is done, then there are transits. Now, a lot of things are now happening in terms of transits. Saturn, Mars, and Mercury, and all those planets right now in Pisces. And what would happen? Like, everybody knows the transits, but what's going to happen? That's the point, right? So, we all know the chart, we all know the transits, where the planets are sitting, maybe the degree also we remember, we know, but what's going to happen? That's the question we need to answer, and that's the software tries to provide that. Now, my KP buffs, my KP friends, my KP lovers, there's a lot of things for you over here. And when I come to KP, I'm going to talk about that. I'm recording the session, Gyanji. And those of you who want the recording of the session, I'll be very glad to send you the recording through Google Drive or Vimeo. Yeah, it's getting recorded. So, those of you who want, I'll give you. And so this is the KP, and then research a word or theme. And just note, it's showing AI engine initializing. Don't miss this. So right now, as soon as I came into this, the AI engine in the backend server is initializing, and it'll take a couple of seconds. Now it's ready. Okay, now it's ready. Next time when I come back, it will not do. Every time you open the software and you come to research a word or theme, it is going to come up. Okay. And yeah, some technical questions, due to non-confidentiality agreements and all that, I cannot say the different AI models and the different technical stuffs which are in the background. But maybe sometime, those of you who are interested to join in this project, we can certainly have a separate session. So here in the middle panel, there is analysis depth, because as astrologers, sometimes I have felt that not everybody wants a deep level answer. So some people just want a quick casual answer, some people want a deep level answer. This whole software is a very deep level software. Within that depth, it's kind of, I have kept low, medium, and high. It's about how how filtered you want the answers. So high means highly filtered answer, and it's also color coded. I'll show you. Medium is like medium filtered, color coded differently. Low is like everything that you want to see from it, you can. And then there are certain functional buttons also here. I'm going to show that also. So, to start with, planetary configuration, I just thought, and I don't know whether it's going to be appropriate or not, but I was just kind of fooling around and playing around with the software, and I thought whether President Donald Trump's chart would be a good one to check. But I'm also open to, if somebody wants to share their chart. But let me just start. It's not that I need a chart for per se to show you what this is. So let us take, for example, um, uh, no, I'm not so comfortable with the North Indian style. So so Lagna. So let's say we have a chart in which the Lagna is Gemini. So what we do is like this. It's so easy to operate, irrespective of what method of astrology you are doing. It's your personal choice. This software is capable of giving you the answers in accordance with the combinations that you set. It is irrespective of what system you are following. Okay, so you can follow a Western astrology system, or maybe Nari astrology system, which looks at Jupiter and Jupiter's interaction. So let's say I'm choosing um, uh, Gemini as the Lagna. Okay, and it automatically takes Mercury as the ascendant lord. And
Mm-hmm.
yeah, and Mrigashira, uh, here in Gemini Lagna, three nakshatras are shown, Mrigashira and first Pada. Now, if I click result, it says, please fill up at least 6 fields. So you require at least 6 fields to make the software moving. Okay. And, oh my, okay. So let's say we select Lagna Lord Mercury. Okay, Lagna Lord Mercury is in Lagna. So I select Lagna Lord Mercury, and Mercury is in the sign of Gemini, and my results are ready for click. Okay. So if you want to straight away check this, you can, but we wanted to make this a very deep level software where the effects also come from nakshatra, the effects also come from nakshatra pada, and it also comes from the house in which the planet is situated. Now, see, this does not have to be only the Rashi chart. This can be your D10 Dashamsha chart also. In your Dashamsha chart, maybe your Dashamsha Lagna is in Gemini, your Dashamsha Lagna Lord Mercury is in Gemini itself. So you can also factor in the various divisional charts, and there are very good calculation softwares that are going to tell you even in dashamsha which nakshatra is the planet occupying, so on and so forth. So let me just show you how in a normal application how it would look. So uh, Mercury, as we see, is in Adra nakshatra third pada, and Adra Nakshatra, third pada, and it is in the house, which is the first house. So once I finish filling up my configuration drop down module, the second configuration opens up. Little bit of checks and balances so that people don't have making wrong selections. But let's say if I keep this and then I click on my results, it will show processing, and it will now give me a lot of information, which is not simply that Gemini Lagna is going to be like this. It's not that. Okay. It's not that, okay, Gemini Lagna, you have Mercury in Lagna, then this. You have a one single statement to say. No, real Jyotish is about a lot of in-depth things that can happen, and whether it is your life, whether it's your disease, whether it's your marital life, everything we have kept over here so that you are able to see. And strangely enough, although this is Mr. Donald Trump's chart that I have taken from Astro Data Bank, double A rated, why does United States of America comes? Maybe because that's the destiny of United States of America for this chart to come. Maybe, I don't know. I'm just speculating. Don't take me seriously. Don't quote me outside, of course. Um, we see a lot of in-depth issues coming over, which we may not be aware about. Maybe your client is not aware about. And when you are setting these planets, uh, all of these factors are coming into play. So let me choose one more planet. Let's say Jupiter. Jupiter is alone in Virgo. So let me take Jupiter. Okay, so here we have Jupiter. Jupiter is in the sign of Virgo, and Jupiter, I think, is in Mars's nakshatra, which is Chitra. So we will not make a mistake in making the selection. So just to be doubly sure. So Chitra, and the pada taken by Chitra, I think it's 3, or Chitra, it's 1. And so the first pada, and those of you who have practice with Placidus house division, and there are cuspal displacements and intercepted sign, you may want to, you have the facility to choose whether the fifth house or the fourth house or the sixth house. Okay, so I've put in Jupiter now, and all I'm now doing is click on the results again. I'll just click on the results again. And
Guruji, this is not the correct information for Donald Trump, though. He's a
which
Leo
one?
Lugna. Yeah, this is you have Gemini Lugna, but he's a Leo Lugna according to Astro Data Bank.
Okay, so we took it from here. Donald Trump over here. So 10 a.m. It's a double A rated, but I'm not sure because
Double A
just
is 10:54 a.m. from Astro Data Bank.
10:54. Okay,
Hmm.
then maybe we can have 10:54. We will. This data is not changeable. But just I wanted to, kind of give you a demo. It's not an
Yeah, but it's
analysis
the
of,
wrong Lugna, so it's going to give. You have Gemini Lugna. It's not Gemini Lugna
yeah.
for
Okay.
him.
So
But
maybe
just
we
you
can,
can go ahead.
yeah, we can change this as well. Maybe quickly we can um, do the chart for, um, yeah, if you can quickly tell me, Simon G, I'll be glad to input it here. Donald Trump. You have the date of birth or the time of birth?
14th of
Yeah,
June,
sorry, I was muted. June
1946.
14th, 1946,
June 14, 1946,
10:54 a.m.
10:54 a.m. Places,
Queens, Queens County, New York.
Queens County, New York. Okay. Create and
Yeah.
save. So, okay. So this is what we have. Right. Right. So Lagna is Leo. So, you know, if you find that your horoscope is wrong, you simply change it to Leo over here, and then you select the nakshatra, which is um, uh, Magha nakshatra. Sorry, yeah, Magha nakshatra, and the pada that you have here is the third pada. Okay, so it's just a matter of clicking and it changes. So every time you are having a chart, you are free to make the configuration changes and see how the results are matching with the life of the client or maybe the life of the country, because the software doesn't demarcate between whether you are looking at a human chart or an animal chart or a country chart or a horary or prashna chart. And this is what the medium analysis depth is about. If I click on low, then it's going to show me even more. Okay, it's going to show me a lot of stuffs which might be overwhelming for new users. Like you may want very specific answers, or you may want to look at very pointed answers. So you just click on high, and the green colors are the important words. Now, as you can see, um, there are words which are in gray color. Like these are the words that have come out from the analysis in the backend, which you can combine with other words. So, for example, beneficial business, but also beneficial partnerships. Okay, so you are in absolute freedom to make the interpretation that suits the sthana, kala, and patra of the client or of the situation that you're facing. And you can save this. So, let's say this is the low. I'm going to take a lot of words over here just to show you. So let's say I write here, and this is a text file. By the way, you may want to translate into Germany, into French. It's a simple text file, and you can do that. Okay, there is no problem. I'm just putting today's date, okay, just for the sake of brevity, and it's 21:31 hours right now here in India. So okay, so as you can see, the report is already going to have the selections marked over here and the words all marked over here. So all you do is you will click on save. And as you click on save, it asks you where you want to save. So let me save it on the desktop, and I'll click it over here on desktop. I'm saving, and that's done. Okay, that's done. So you can you can change and alter and do a lot of research and study with the horoscope. Or if your client is right in front of you and you want to quickly understand the deep nature of the chart, here is a tool that helps you to do that. And the permutation combinations are very unlimited, and we are going to keep on updating the backend engine with a lot of more training. This is just the tip of the iceberg that you are seeing as of now, which is kind of quite helpful, with all due respect to Mr. Donald Trump, the president of United States. We do see a couple of important uh, indications which are coming up from the analysis, and maybe someone who actually consults with him would have a much better idea. Now,
Andrew, if I'm sorry to interrupt, but I mean, what I'm
yes.
seeing right now, there's a little bit of a liability here in terms of input error. So if you go to planet configuration number one, you need to have updated. Mercury is not in the first house in Donald Trump's chart, it's in the 11th. And likewise for planet number two, Jupiter is in the second. So I'm just wondering, can you update those now and we'll just see the output text reflected in those changes, please?
Yeah, that's right. Because I'm just showing here the demo of the
I
uh,
understand,
chart.
but
Yeah, it may not, we are not exactly looking into Donald Trump's life or Donald Trump's nature character here. We are just
I'm
putting
just
the,
interested in seeing that text change as a consequence of changing the house placements of Mercury and Jupiter,
okay,
your other two dynamic
okay.
elements
Yeah,
there.
that can be done. So we have Mercury in 11th. So Mercury is in Gemini. Mercury is in Gemini, but everything else remaining same.
Good,
Um,
let's assume. And Jupiter in
11th,
the second.
yeah, 11th. And Jupiter, what we get with Jupiter is in second.
Yes,
So if we remove here and put Jupiter second, and if we click on results, there are some changes that are happening. Yeah, it takes a couple of seconds to change,
that's
but
fine. Good.
there are changes that are happening. Government service maybe makes it somehow goes with his chart. But yeah, the idea is not to discuss Donald Trump's chart over here today. Just I've randomly picked up a chart which maybe everybody knows and everybody can quickly relate. But yes, once you change these, and by the way, I have not yet filled up the other configuration cards. The more you fill up, the more this keeps on churning. So this is the first module that the software offers, and you can change, a high, medium, low, whichever depth you want to go. Okay, it does find out everything in the back end, but then it doesn't show you unless you want it. So that's how the analysis depth goes. And then we come to additional interpretations. Now, this is about um, some charts are very unique planetary placements, and it's up to the astrologer to decide what he or she considers as unique. So let's say I just want to check, Sun and Ketu. Okay, or maybe we just want to check, or maybe we just want to check sun. Okay, let's take sun. Sun in 10th, owner of the lagna and second house. So let's set it. Okay, let's say sun, which is in the sign of Taurus, and sun is the owner of lagna and second in 10th. So owner of lagna and second and in 10th. Okay, and up to here, the software is ready to show you the result. But if you still want to go for the nakshatra approach, then sun is in Mrigashira. So sun in Mrigashira. And then if I, let me put it medium over here, analysis depth. And then if I click on results, it's going to come up with a different set of interpretations. Okay. It's not that everything is prefixed and predefined, which we see in many softwares. Like you have a planet, and every time you click on that planet is the same write-up coming over and over again. It's not that. Okay, so it's going to change the moment you change the configurations here. It's going to change. And so this is only about sun, which is in Taurus, in the 10th house, owning the first and lagna. And you may choose that, no, I just want to find out, I just want to understand sun's placement in 10th. I don't want to fiddle with um, son's ownership, house ownership. So it changes again. So it changes. Okay, it gives you now a different kind of a output. If you want only the most important result, not most important, that's a wrong way of saying. You want the deep level, the deepest level stuffs to come up. You click on the highly filtered ones, very deep level ones, and uh, once you click on other houses, it changes back, it goes back to where it came from. And this is dynamic, this is changing dynamically. And you can add other planets. So I might want to add Rahu now into the picture. Okay, of course, Rahu is not the owner of the first and second. So that, this is where you as an astrologer might have to decide that, should I hold on to Rahu and keep Sun's house ownership? But let's say you want to bring in Rahu, which Rahu and Sun are together in 10th. You can click on that, and it's a different kind of result now shown. Okay, different kind of result. If you want to make it low, and then it comes the orange color ones start coming up, which has a more wider level meaning. Okay, so that was additional interpretation. So sorry, so that was where you as an astrologer, you want to find out the specific unique combinations that happen with planets. And if you click on clear results, the results are cleared and all selections go away. But I should have saved this first, because I wanted to show you the magnum opus at the end, and that was Mrigashira. And oh, okay, so this is in Taurus, so it gives me the error message. Okay, so let me save this, and now what I'm going to do is append the result. So already I have a saved file. So I'm going to open my saved file, which is already there, and I'm going to quickly, I'm going to open this, and it's appended. So it's already appended. All I do is click on OK. So it's already appended with my previous saved file, because we will be using that in combined results. Now, when we are going further deep, we may want to understand unique relationships. And as of now, we have kept the conjunction and oppositions, which are very unique relationships that have a tremendous impact on the horoscope. Very few horoscopes are there which do not have a conjunction or an opposition. Very, very rare to find. And conjunctions and oppositions have very deep meaning. Conjoining planet and opposing planet, when they become retrograde, also have a completely different meaning. So it's not that Sun is conjoined with Venus and therefore this is going to be the answer. Doesn't happen that way. So Sun conjoined with Venus, what relationship do we get? And are there any other oppositions in the horoscope? Because Sun conjoined Venus, but there are other oppositions in the horoscope. What is going to be the combined result? Because that is where the real astrology lies, where you are able to see the entirety of the horoscope, not in bits and pieces. A very good car is a entire machine. A very good car is a whole machine. It's not only the engine, it's not the seat, it's not the boot. So it's the whole being which is important. So let's take an example. I'm just giving my thoughts. By the way, you don't have to agree with me. It's my thought that I use every day in astrology, and the way how I do astrology, the way how this has been envisaged. You don't have to agree with me. Feel free to completely disagree. I'm just telling what I sometimes feel. So let's look at Saturn and Venus. Okay, let's look at Saturn and Venus over here. So what we see is, let me see if I can make, I have minimized this. Excellent. Excellent. I could finally minimize this. Okay. So here is Venus, which is conjoined with Saturn, and none of them are retrograde. In case Venus was retrograde, I would have clicked on R because results would differ then. Okay, or Saturn was retrograde. So let's say find conjunction. So I click on find conjunction, and it will tell me very specifically certain issues. Okay, certain issues. And I may not want so many things. I want to keep only the green ones, or maybe two levels I want to keep. Okay, fine. So Venus and Saturn are conjoined. So you can save this. You can save this if you want. It allows, but also here we also have Rahu and Sun conjoined. So maybe I can clear this, and I can look at Sun and Rahu conjoined. What does it give? Okay. I'll have to clear the selections, clear the results, and Rahu and Sun conjunctions. Okay. So certain other things come up. Okay, just as a demo, let's look at the opposition. Sun is opposed to Ketu. I can also have Sun opposed to Moon. Okay, Sun is opposed to Ketu, and I can look at other stuffs which are coming in, maybe because of Rahu and Ketu effect, or maybe I can do Sun opposed to Moon and find out what are the different stuffs that are coming up. Okay, if I make it low, I get more things coming up. But maybe I want to just keep stuffs which are manageable. I don't want to overwhelm myself with a lot of things to say, because these things are getting added up layer by layer. Okay, now there is a interesting thing in the software, extended meaning. As you can see here on the bottom left hand side, it has turned blue. Once you find conjunction, when you find opposition, this one turns blue. If you click on extended meaning, it gives you a lot of things to understand even deeper. This is available only with 2 modules. So maybe his father was aloof, we don't know. Okay, or maybe he was aloof with him, we don't know. But this is not, as I said, this is not a reading of Mr. Donald Trump's chart. I just want to show you how you can use this software on a real life basis, daily basis, in your astrology practice, to look at your own chart, to look at the chart of your spouse, friends, children, relatives. And I can save this in the same way. I can save this. All I'll do is I'll append the file, I'll select it, open, and it says appended. Okay, that's done. So that was about the planetary relationships, conjunctions, and oppositions. I can clear all my results, or I can reset all. Reset all is like resetting the whole software back to where it is. Okay. And then I can come back to my next module, which is retrograde interpretation. This is specifically about planet which is uniquely retrograde. again, I say unique because it's you as an astrologer who has to make that decision. Is it a uniquely retrograde planet? So here we find, in case of Jupiter, which is in a sign, which is he is alone in a sign aspected by Saturn. He is in a sign aspecting his own sign, which is the ninth, and Jupiter is the only retrograde planet in the chart. So Jupiter has a good effect on the chart because he is the lone retrograde planet. Okay, so lone retrograde planets have different meaning. Now, Jupiter retrograde, and Jupiter is in the second house. Now, look at this. If you go by cuspal displacement intercepted sign, Jupiter is in the second house. Otherwise, according to had it been any other house division system, this would have been third. KP astrologers would like to take this as a third cusp effect. But anyway, I'm not going into that complication. Jupiter is in second, is the owner of the ninth and fifth. So Jupiter is the owner of the fifth and ninth house, and it's occupied in the second, and it's in the sign Virgo. Okay, just to save people from making mistakes, once you select, a planet can occupy only one sign, so all other signs go blank. Okay, go on frozen mode. So once we click on retrograde, it will tell us a couple of things which would be meaningful depending on what you would like to add the value of Jupiter with. Okay, for example, just for example, Jupiter sitting in the second bhava is aspecting his ninth bhava of fortune. So can I say, successful fortune, optimistic fortune, but a fortune that is volatile, fortune that helps him to achieve stuff? Okay, fortune is of course there. Okay, he needs prudence in his fortune. Should I tell him that? Okay, publicity, good fortune in publicity. So it is up to the astrologer to say, up to the astrologer to make that blend and what you are going to tell your clients. Okay, I can save that in the same way I save it. Okay, I'll have to open that file, Donald Trump, open that and save it. That's it. Okay, now there is an extended meaning as well that opens in retrograde planet. If I click on extended meaning, it's going to now tell me loss of fortune. So here I was talking about maybe success in fortune, but extended meaning also tells me loss of fortune. Okay, personal philosophy question. Now, I'm not saying his chart is correct and this is exactly what his life is going to be. No, this is just a dummy chart. It can be anybody's chart, but the way how we make this software help you in interpretation is you are able to tell your client that, well, success is there, success in fortune is going to be there, but I also need to be careful about how my personal philosophy, how my personal outlook might be questioned. It's it reduces your struggle towards the articulation of the narrative which is necessary for you to be more meaningful in your chart interpretation. Okay, because ultimately it's you who is going to make sense of these depending on who your client is. Maybe a truck driver, maybe a business executive, maybe a banker, maybe a CEO, maybe a homemaker. So you are going to adapt according to the needs. Now, I can clear the selections, I can reset all, and I can come now to dasha interpretations, which is like the climax of any astrology work. The dasha interpretation is very important. And what we have provided here is like four um four important stuffs, but nakshatra and sign is something which many a times is not taken into account, especially nakshatra, and that is what we wanted to be present in the horoscope so that you have much richer explanation at your disposal. So let's see what Mr. Trump is having right now. He is having Jupiter Mahadasha. Hopefully, his time is correct. In that way, with that assumption, we are going. He's running Jupiter and Venus. We'll just stick to Jupiter and Venus because it's the, once you have the software, you can always add on to the layers. So we are selecting the planet Jupiter. Jupiter, and we know Jupiter owns the houses 5 and 9. So Jupiter owns the fifth house, Jupiter owns the ninth house, and Jupiter is occupied in the second bhava, and Jupiter is in Chitra Nakshatra. Jupiter is in Chitra Nakshatra, and the sign is Virgo. Now, right at this level, if I click on result, I'm going to get a huge deluge of results. I don't want that deluge because a dasha of 16 years is a lot of time and a lot of things are going to happen. So a lot of results are going to come. Okay. Let me click. So a lot of stuff's come and it's in the low mode. I'm going to the medium mode and I'm going to the high mode. So this is the high mode. So maybe in his Jupiter Mahadasha, he has self-imposed limits which hinder his expansion. We don't know. Okay. Self-restraining yet effective growth. We don't know. But it can be anybody's chart, So this is the high mode. I can go to the medium mode. And it's still the Jupiter Mahadasha. This is the medium mode. It's all up to you how much you want to see, how much you want the software to tell you. Okay, so let me stick to the high mode. I don't want that deluge of information to come to you. Slowly you get adapted to handle this information. Now let's say Antardasha, or as in South India they say Bhukti. So the Antardasha is of Venus, and Venus is the owner of the 10th. There is no house other than 10th for Venus, and that's the flip side of Placidus house division. But we will have to manage that for the time being. If you go by equal house division, we would get something for Venus. So since this is the Lagna first, second, third, Venus is actually going to be the third house owner. I'm just taking for an example, okay, because you can avoid that if you want. And Venus is also the owner of the 10th bhava. So we take Venus as 10th. Venus is occupied in the house 11th. Okay. Venus is occupied in the 11th house. Venus is in the nakshatra of Punarvasu. Okay. Punarvasu. And the sign occupied is that of Cancer. Now it is now the result that you're going to see is the analysis, not the synthesis. It's the analysis of Jupiter in this configuration and Venus in this configuration together. What is going to be the effect? It's not individualized effect. Okay. So this is what is completely now different. So Jupiter Dasha can have different effects, of which Jupiter Venus is going to have this kind of an effect. Okay. This kind of an effect. And you want to go to medium, you have even more coming up. More coming up. Okay. You want to go to low, even more coming up. So it's up to you how much you want the software to show. And by the way, there is a help section over here, a detailed help section which tells you what are the different modules and what are the deeper meaning of the modules. So there is a detailed help section that you can take a couple of hours to go through, and everything is there at the tip of your finger. So there's nothing to, you won't feel lost with the software. There are color coded. Green color ones are the most important ones, the deep ones. So values become important and self becomes important, social becomes important. So you can start blending your own narrative about the chart, that social is there, relationship, emotional. You can create the blend, and you can talk about how Jupiter and Venus dashantar dasha is going to be, and then the pratyanta dasha also you can build. Okay, so this software, you can use it for looking at the past. You can also use it for looking at the present, and definitely for what is coming in the next Dasha Bhukti Antara, if you want to look at that way. But beyond Pratyanta Dasha, I have not given, because beyond Pratyanta Dasha, it's the transits which have a very important role to play. Okay. And uh, this transit is in multiple levels and layers, where you have the choice to either go for simplistic approach or for more complicated ones. But just let me save this, append this. Okay. Yeah, it's appended. Okay. Now I clear the results, I reset all, and then I go to transit over natal planets. So let's look at the current transit. So here is the current transit chart. So let's say, from a much broader perspective, I'm not going for exact orb based transit. You can do that if you want. Just from a more broader perspective, what we see is Jupiter. Jupiter is on natal Mercury. Okay, so let's set this. Let's take one setting. So we have transit Jupiter, which is roughly conjoined, because if you feel that no, this is not conjunction, I want exact degree, then you will not probably select this combination. So transit Jupiter. Transit planet can also be retrograde. If it is retrograde, you want to click on this, and it is on the natal planet Mercury, and the natal sign is Gemini, and the natal house is 11th house. Right? So you have set the transit, and maybe you want one more transit. Let us say Mars. Now you see Mars, let me put the chart over here. So Mars is here, right? Mars is throwing its fourth drishti. Fourth drishti is 90-degree drishti. Fourth drishti is a square drishti. So even in Vedic astrology, if you use that concept of 90-degree, fairly 70 to 80% of the time you're going to be correct. So let's say transiting planet Mars is giving the fourth drishti on the natal planet Mercury, which is in Gemini, and these are optional. You may not choose till you're going to get the result, but if you choose, you're going to get something extra and probably better. Gemini, and the natal house is 11th. Okay. And if I click on results, I get a composite over here. And now you see how it's very specific. Okay. At a low level, it's giving me only this much. High mental energy. Okay. Learning through challenge. But as you enter these, little more is going to come. But again, as we are just kind of experimenting with a chart, when you are dealing with real charts in a real situation, this small answer will add or modify or delete your dasha bhukti antara result, dasha antar dasha pratyanta dasha results. Okay, because what you are going to say, what are you going to conclude in the dasha bhukti antara is also dependent on how you are interpreting your transit. So it's giving you a ready-made transit clarity, if I may say so. It's giving a transit clarity. And let's say, as we can see over here, natal Jupiter is aspected by Saturn, which is opposition. Let's put it. So transit Saturn is in opposition to natal Jupiter, which is in the natal sign of Virgo and which is the natal house of second, which is the second house. Okay. And if we click on result, we get a lot more stuff. You see, immediately a lot more comes out. Of course, I'm in the low depth, even if it is a medium depth. This is what we get. So I was only looking at two transit, but when you're doing real transits, you're going to get real stuff coming up. Okay. And status ambition or testing the limits of reality. We don't know exactly what is happening with Mr. Trump's real life, but certain things are indicating what might be going on in his life right now. And although this is not a chart discussion of Mr. Trump, but just wanted to show you how you are more well disposed to make inner level, deeper level analysis, make deeper interpretation, carve out more meaning, and uh, you know, uh, in a much more stable and uh, much more confident way. Optimism meets limitations. Well, he did have some limitations in the recent couple of weeks of what he envisaged he is going to do. But yeah, certain things are happening. And maybe because of natal planet. So what we are looking here is not just Jupiter opposite to Saturn. It's not that. Okay, Saturn opposition to Jupiter. If Jupiter is in Virgo, which means Saturn is in Mean Rashi, that's already at the back end. The back end, the LLM engine that we have designed at the back end, it's already doing that. And together, what is coming up? So this result is the result of three transits that we have plugged in. Okay. So let me save this result as usual so that we'll have a more meaningful combined result. Okay. Right. So this is saved. Right. Now I come to the KP astrology interpretation, and there are my KP friends. So I will first show you the significator. Okay. So let us say seventh cuspal sublord is Rahu. Okay, seventh cuspal sub. Okay, let's take 10th. Why not something which we seventh is his private life more. Like his business and other things. Okay, let's take 10th. 10th cuspal sublord is Jupiter, and what we see for Jupiter is fourfold significators. Jupiter is 12, 2, 4, 5, 9. Okay, this is the cusp. We don't take that. So Jupiter is 12, 2, 4, 5, and 9. So let's plug that. Okay, so we are looking at Jupiter. Jupiter is 12, 2, 4, 5, 9. Jupiter is 12, 2, 4, 5, 9. In which order you choose, it doesn't make any difference. Okay. So you can choose maximum 4 planets, as you can see here. You can choose maximum 4 planets, and here you can choose up to 6 houses. Now, what happens in KP astrology? People are like, oh, my cuspal sublar is Jupiter, and Jupiter is signifying 2, 4, 5, 9, and 12th houses. What sense do I make of that? What do I say? What does it mean? In KP, this is the usual narrative I get to hear. Because K.S. Krishnamurti himself did not explain how to do this. Okay? So, if you want to know Jupiter as the sublord of 10th cusp is signifying these houses, what does it mean? Okay, what does it mean? So it can mean a lot of things, both from disease perspective, both from maybe property perspective, real estate and so many other things, maybe court cases. So it brings up a basket of stuffs covering all the areas of life, with respect to, mind you, all the areas of life with respect to second house, fourth house, fifth house, ninth, and 12th. Now, keeping this intact, I just wanted to show you this because this was really a fun stuff for me, making this. And Jupiter, what we see, Jupiter, many a times KP astrologers, they miss out on this stuff. Jupiter is in Mercury sign, Mars star, Rahu sub. Okay, so Mercury, Mars, and Rahu. So let's see. Mercury, um, Mercury, Mars, and Rahu. Okay, so now it shows that this is the degree. This is where the degree belongs. Okay, Jupiter is in this degree range, which is KP sub number 122. So what does this combination really mean? Mercury, Mars, and Rahu, a linear combination. What does it really mean? Okay, so it gives you 113 output. Okay, we need to be careful because it gives you everything. So we need to find out what we need, because you might be doing a horary chart, you might be doing a natal chart, you might be doing a mundane chart, or maybe chart of a sickness decumbiture chart. So you need to look into it carefully and find out what you are looking for. But it's far better than going through 10 textbooks, some good ones, or maybe through the classical texts and trying to figure out what the Sanskrit sloka is saying. It gives you a really accessible material in front of you. So let me just save this like I'm doing it for all the other modules. Okay, so I'm going to save this over here. Okay, and it's saved. Fantastic. So I can clear the selection over here. I can clear the selection over here. And then when I clear the results, everything goes. Okay, I can also reset all if I want. Now we come to a completely different stuff, which is the keyword research. And what keyword do you want me to search for? What keyword you want me to search for? Any of you?
As in, it can be any concept of astrology, or it has to be
Anything. If it is there, like we have put in almost like a quarter of a year.
Resignation.
Sorry?
Resignation.
Resignation. Okay, let me try. Oh, hold on. Because I think because of the wait. Because of the Zoom, I think it's not getting clicked. Or is it something? Just hold on. Ah, it is here. Resignation. Resignation. So resignation, if I now let me just show you how it works. Resignation. Resignation is a single word. It's coming as a single word. I click over here and put my space bar. It says resignation with grace. Okay, or somebody's resignation prone. I have a colleague in my office who always carries his resignation letter in his pocket. Whenever the boss is angry with him, he's also ready to pull out his resignation letter. So he's resignation prone. So let's stick with one word first, and then we'll take one more. Okay, resignation. So if I click on search, then it tells me what kind of situations, planetary combinations, or planetary configurations can give resignation, can create resignation. And this is just don't go by the labels like house, relationships, and transits. Um, you know, even Saturn conjoined with Venus during transit can also trigger resignation. Resignation is a matter of 10th house and 7th house. So is he running the Pratyanta Dasha of 10th and 7th? And is there a relationship getting built with Saturn and Venus? Maybe he's running Saturn Mahadasha, Venus Antardasha, or maybe Saturn Antardasha, Venus Pratyantardasha, and Saturn and Venus show some relationship with 10th and 7, and Saturn and Venus also show some relationship with Ketu. Maybe there is resignation. This is where you get a bit of nudge, a bit of help, but this is very strong, because this is what you are going to get. It's going to happen. Okay. Now let's say resignation with grace. So resignation with grace, you can do split search, because it's going to look for the word grace and resignation, and you may want to add that. You may want to combine grace and resignation at your level. Okay. You may want to do that, or you may just want to go for an exact search. Okay. So exact search, K2 over K2 opposition, or K2 over K2 square relationship. And that's if it is exact. But if you go for split search, then resignation grace or resignation with grace, it has split up, and it gives you the combinations that are possible, which in this case is very similar. Okay. Maybe because of this particular uh, the word and the associated meaning, it is coming together. But we can also choose one more or one or two more words to check how it gives. Any other word you'd like to, because I'm just giving you a demo. You can always play around with this and see how much of it is coming out in terms of the the reality of the chart. Any other word you want me to try out? Marital affairs. Okay. Like extramarital affairs, or like, okay, we'll put marital affairs. It's coming marital. Okay, marital struggles, marital happiness, marital dissatisfaction, tension, conflict, harmony, confusion. Okay, let's put marital dissatisfaction, which is like a pandemic now in the whole world. Okay, so let me just try to search this. Okay. Okay. So marital dissatisfaction, take care of the 11th house first. Planets in certain nakshatra can be the harbinger of marital dissatisfaction. But what I have also seen, although it is telling me Sun in Anuradha, Sun in Hasta, I have seen other planets exactly in these nakshatras. It's not only Sun. Okay, but then this is the beauty of the software, where it tells you what to look for. Retrograde Saturn and retrograde Venus, another marital dissatisfaction. And this is where a lot of training to the engine has gone into, to figure out from various charts. We used Astro Data Bank to train our engine with our own charts from our astrology practice in my family. Okay. And then this is similar meaning. It also searches in the back end with words which are like, conjugal disharmony. It might have come up with these combinations, and it also shows that. So marital dissatisfaction, or maybe we can look at marital happiness, which also exists in this world. Okay. Marital happiness exists in this world. Just a moment. Let me clear this. Yeah, let me clear this. That's a much better way to do. Okay. Marital happiness. And yeah. So it talks about houses, planets in nakshatra. Same planets which give marital disharmony can also give marital happiness. Yeah, very true. Okay, transits. Sometimes there is a lot of coziness, warmth, and heat. Sometimes it's not there. So transits. Okay, similar meaning. We have 12 other similar meanings coming in. Okay, so lot of stuffs to explore. If I go for try exact, it's going to shorten down, and well, it doesn't split anymore. Okay, because I'm looking for exact. Anything else?
Autism.
Yes?
Autism. Disability.
Autism. Okay. Autism.
Thank you.
So it gives one. So although it gives transit, the way how I would interpret this is a harsh relationship between Jupiter and Mercury causing autism, a harsh relationship. Because this is what the charts of people having autism or people who have suffered with autism, the training of the engine, this has come up. We didn't tweak with it. We didn't tweak with that. Whatever has come up, we have kept it. And in real charts, if you are finding Jupiter and Mercury having harsh relationships, it can have autism. And now we are coming to, and since it's quite some time, I'll quickly now come to the combined results. By the way, in this research a word, a theme, the analysis depth low, medium, high doesn't work, so it's only for the modules over here. So combined result, now in combined result, what we see here is all that, yeah, all that we have uh, dug out, all that we have excavated, okay, how much of it is pure gold. We have gold dust, but we need to now burn it and find the pure gold. So this is the process of finding the pure gold. So I click combine result, and what it does is it asks me to import a CosmoKey report. So I'll go here, I'll import this report, I'll click on Donald Trump, our example chart today, and I click on open, and it gives me that I have used 7 modules and there are 541 phrases. Okay, so this is what we have created in this demonstration today, and my CosmoKey report is already imported. Okay, and when I click on combine, it is taking some time in the backend server to quickly generate, and this is a real stuff. Okay, it's a real stuff now. So what you get over here, top power themes. Okay, top power themes, value. Okay, maybe there was a E missing somewhere. It came in the report. It came in. So value, personal, relationship, emotional, strong. Okay, and top power words, which means in this chart, what are the deep foundations that we are finding, deep foundations that are coming up. Okay, these are the themes, issues, you can say opportunities or problems that are going to be coming up as recurrent themes in the person's life. Okay, there are contradictions, and if you see the contradictions, top power words like value, somewhere in the report, there is the spelling mistake. Okay, so that's why the E is missing. We can just correct that in the report itself. So if you see the contradictions are in the nature of negations. So values questioned and values changed and negated. There are certain personal values that might lack clarity. So it's a negative connotation. Okay. And a negation which is being done away with, or we can look at polarity. If we look at polarity, it is processing once again, and then it tells us there are polarities. So there's a possibility that the person would grow through values, and there is discipline needed for growth. So it's like polarity, two opposites the persons will have to manage. Okay, there are blocked business which needs growth, or blocked businesses that grow. Okay, and you can save this report also. You can save the combined result report also. If you click on save, it's going to ask you where to save, just in the same way. Okay, so contradictions can be negations, or contradictions can be polarity, or you may simply avoid any contradictions. You don't want contradictions, you just want to see what is the what's the gold. You don't want to know whether it's a 999 gold or a 999.5 gold. You don't want to see that, but if you want, you can. And then there are, by the way, there are a lot of negations which are coming. A lot of negations are there, a lot of polarities that are coming, but I just want to show you how it is coming. And this is fundamentally content analysis, something which I did way back in 2004 and 5. And in content analysis, the unit of analysis we have taken is sentence level, and we have come down at the word level over here. There are some standalone power words which have come out very strongly. Okay, personal and value. So probably personal value systems are the strongest effect this gentleman is having. Personal value system. So it's personal values, personal principles, which are probably more important. Is the personal values that define his relationship with other. Is the personal values that not only define his relationship, but how he is emotionally strong. So you see, the more you are in the process of interpreting and doing charts, this helps you to get more and more meaning. Okay, nurturing anchors personal values, glamour and personal values. So this is where the clusters are built from the strongest results, based on from where these results have come. Okay, so disease also are there, and these are the headings, these are the score headings. Okay, so from business perspective, business partnerships, there are block business growth, business expert, he's a good businessman. He his own business he can start, so on and so forth. Okay, so you can save this if you want. If you want to do a fresh analysis altogether, you just simply click that close and you click the reset button, and then you come to planetary configurations, and you have this. You can change to different themes if you want, depending on how you want to view it. But this is it adapts to the system theme. So first time you install, it will adapt to the system theme. I love this tone of slide blue. And here is the help section, which is quite in depth, and this will tell you about your licensing information, and your license is active. You need an active internet connection because the AI engine that we built, it's there in our server. So you need the server connection, so you need an active internet connection. So I will stop here. It's like almost 1 hour, 30 minutes almost. And it has been a non-stop talking from my side. So I give over to you. And any question or anything you want to ask me, I'll be glad to answer as much as I can.
Yeah, Endoji,
Yeah.
namaskar.
Namaskar.
Namaskar. It is very good actually. Yeah, thanks for the introduction and all the demo, everything. It's very, very good actually. My basic question is that, like, if I want to answer a question something like that, when this person will get married, or when this person will get the job, or when this person will go for divorce, that kind of questions, is it possible to answer from this software?
To a large extent, yes. You will have to first find out whether marriage or divorce and any event, whether it's promised in the chart. Let's say it is promised. You will go to Dasha interpretation. You will select the Mahadasha, Antardasha, and Pratyantar Dasha, and you will see whether that event is coming in the list. So let's say marriage is coming in the list, or maybe you want to look for divorce, and divorce or separation is coming in the list. Then it is an event or it's a situation that's going to transpire in the person's life. So yes, that is possible to do.
Okay, thank you very much. Yeah, I will wait for the Mac release actually, then I will buy this. Yeah,
Surely,
thank
surely.
you. Thank you.
Hello, sir.
Yes, hello.
I would like to know how does the system differentiate between divisional chart? Like we have
Differentiate between?
the divisional charts that we are looking into when entering the data regarding the planets, ascendant, nakshatras. How does it differentiate between what chart we are considering for the analysis?
Okay. First of all, at the entry level, when you're entering, when you're selecting the sign or the planets, it does not differentiate at your level of entry. Okay? It does not differentiate. But in our training of the engine, let's say Navamsha Lagna, let's say Navamsha Lagna Aquarius, Dashamsha Lagna Aquarius, Dvadashamsha Lagna Aquarius, we have trained the engine with the inputs. So when you are setting up ascendant Lagna Aquarius, is going to find out what other combinations match with that training, and it gives you the answer. But it's not going to differentiate by its own. So if your Lagna is Kumbha in Rashi chart, but your Navamsha Lagna is Mithuna, you want to find out your Navamsha Lagna effect, then you will have to select your Mithuna. Okay? And you will have to select where Mercury is in Navamsha. Okay? Or maybe you want to select um, maybe a different planet. So let's say Navamsha, it's Mrigashira, it's third pada, and you want to select your Rashi Lagna Lord Saturn. So it's you who are selecting this, and at the back end, a huge amount of data which is going to be churned, and the result will come out, because that's the training we had to give to the engine for last 10 months or so. So it does not differentiate because it's not calculating any chart. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, right.
Yeah,
Thank you for the
thank you for
answer.
asking that question.
Hello, sir.
Yes, Sipraji.
The software is very nice. It's very
Thank you.
commendable. Really liking it. So my question is, for example, if I give one after the other planet combinations, those are in the chart, right?
Yes.
First house combinations, second house combinations, oppositions. So in the end, when I generate the report, is it going to calculate the effect of the entire chart and present it to me?
Yes. Every module that you are calculating, you are saving into the text file. Every
Okay,
module calculated is saved into the text file. And when you do the final combined result, it
right.
extracts the soul of the chart.
Okay.
So
Okay.
let us say you are focusing on education, or
Correct.
what career or profession is good for the person. So
Correct.
with the ascendant, let's say 10th lord is Saturn,
Correct.
and in 10th house there is another planet which is situated. You create the first module, you save the result, then you go for additional interpretation. 10th house lord and which sign it is, and which house other than 10th house, and which nakshatra, you save the result. You do that maybe 10th house is conjoined with one planet, you save the result, and
Correct.
in that way up to retrograde interpretation you save.
Okay.
If the person wants to know whether in this dasha antardasha I'm going to get a great job, you
Mm-hmm.
also find out dasha antardasha, save the result.
Correct.
Maybe for next 6 months or maybe next 1 year, Jupiter is going to be on a particular Rashi, and the person has another planet in the same Rashi, find out transit also, save the
Okay.
result. Then when
Okay.
you're going to do combined result, what you're going to get is a distilled answer for matters of career only.
Okay. Okay.
So you can do this for career, for marriage, for any area of life.
Anything.
You are doing a piece by piece analysis. It's just like a ultrasound test. They are going to do the ultrasound of a particular area, and they're going to be really in depth. What is there? Any growth is there? If everything is fine. So you can do an in-depth, area specific, or a life event specific analysis. Or if you want to do a general chart reading, you just have to keep on excavating the data, store it, and then do the combined result and see what's the general feel, what's the general soul spirit of the chart. So both
I think
ways it is possible.
yeah, I think for a particular house, it's the engine of that particular house and it tells everything about that house.
Correct.
Right.
Correct.
Right.
Yes.
It's very
Yes.
nice. Thank you. Thank you. Very nice.
Thank you, Sipraji. So, I saw a couple of questions coming up on the price, and so there is a pre-booking offer which is going to go on till 22nd April, okay, which is next Wednesday. But all of you are Simon G's friends and students, and therefore my friends as well. So, with those of you who have registered for this session from the same email ID, you are going to get the pre-book offer extended up to May 18th. So, you will have the extended offer continuing for you till one more month. And which others, for others, it's going to be the regular price that is going to be, and it's a very, very affordable price we have kept. For the pre-book offer is just $172. The whole software comes only for $172, and for you it's going to remain $172 till next month 18th. You'll have to use the code Jyotish 108. Jyotish 108 is the secret code, that you're going to write in your email from the same email ID that you have registered, so that I know you were a part of this lovely evening. And you don't have to put your billing address because it's through PayPal. If you have a PayPal, you can simply make your payment. So it's between you and PayPal. So I don't need the billing address to issue you the license. All I need will be your name, email ID, and the license form is a very simple form, which country you come from. So I don't need your residential address or any other private information. I don't need. There was a question on twins. Yeah, um, twins differ on the pada. Okay, twins differ on the pada. But if you want to really know the differences in the twin birth, that is where you will have to go to Krishnamurti Paddhati. This is another software of mine, Light of KP Astrology, that was launched in 2018. And this is not a evening for me to speak on this. But yes, twin charts, they differ in the sublord. That is where KP Astrology originally came into being. Okay, because of the twin charts. So twin charts, when your sublord is different, and then you set the sublord over here. So for one twin, sublord is Mercury, it will have different houses effect. And for another twin, the sublord is Venus, it is going to have another effect. Okay, so yes, twin births are possible with this chart. So you will have to set it up, because remember, this software is not a calculation software. It's not a report generation software. It's not a software which is meant for writing report. It's mainly for making meaning and interpretation of the different planetary uh, uh, situations. So how to answer KP Prashna question, will it be beneficial? Yeah, so it's like for KP Prashna, let's say 11th Kaspal sublord. 11th Kaspal sublord gives you the outcome, nature of the outcome. So if 11th Kaspal sublord is, let's say, a planet which is Saturn, and Saturn is signifying, let's say, third and seventh and ninth house, and then when you click on the result, you need to see whether whether the answer that you are looking for is present in it or not. Okay, whether it is present in it or not. So based on what you want to find is what you will be asking this software. Okay, but definitely once you have the Krishnamurti Paddhati chart with you, you will be in a position to use this, because this whole software is about having the chart with you. But it doesn't matter whether it's a printed chart, handwritten chart, or a software driven chart, whether it's a KP chart, Vedic chart. It's what you are asking this software to tell you, and it searches for you, it finds out for you, and it tells you. Okay, so that's the beauty of this software. Okay, maybe I'll take one more last question.
Yeah, can I, sir?
Yes, please go ahead.
Yeah, I know we need a chart to fill up this information. So why, once we filled up the information, date of birth and place, just like I make a chart, why not we store that data in the system, and we grab the information will be automatically, why we need again and again sun in this house, nakshatra pada. Why not we make a information birth chart, so there is on the background my chart is registered in software, so I grab the information.
Exactly, that is what we plan to do. In the future, we are going to make a software where this software is going to be part of that. So in the future, a software where you enter date of birth, time of birth, place of birth, everything comes out, and then from there, as you said, we will grab the information. That's exactly the plan for the future. Not this software, but yeah, we are going to come up with a different software altogether where these kind of facilities will be there. But this was made mainly with the vision that a lot of people grapple with the hardship of what's the correct birth time, what's the correct birth date, what's the setting that I should maintain. Should I use Lahiri Ayanamsha or KP Ayanamsha? My Ayanamsha changes, so what is going to be my interpretation? My house division changes, and my planet, which was earlier in fourth house, now is in fifth house. What do I do? That is something which the astrologer will have to sort it out himself or herself. This software is, when you come to this software, you come with the readiness to seek the answer. You don't come to this software with the confusion that what if my birth time is wrong. Okay, so that's how this software was envisaged. But what you said is, it's a very good thing, and that is what we have already planned for in the different other software that we are going to make.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much.
Yeah, this was a nice question. Okay,
Sir,
over to you, Simon G.
Sir,
Do
just
do
one
you have
question.
trial available? Do
Yes,
you have
please.
trial available?
Sorry?
A trial available? If I download the software for a trial period of 7 days or 15 days,
There aren't any trial versions, but all that I have shown you, it is already there on the website, on the features page. You would be able to see the videos, but trial versions we have not given because of the licensing restrictions that we have. So there are no trial
okay.
versions available.
What is your website?
Website is thecosmokey.com. So let me stop the share and let me quickly take you to the site where you can the CosmoKey software. So this is the website, thecosmokey.com. So once you go to this website and you click on buy, you will go to the payment option. So for all purchases originating within India, you pay through Razorpay. Once you click on Razorpay, it will take you to the Razorpay payment gateway. And for all international purchases, it's through PayPal. So if you click on PayPal, you go to PayPal site. Okay. So this is the website, CosmoKey. And if you click on features, you're going to have all the videos over here, which explains everything that I have done in today's session. So this is the website, thecosmokey.com.
Andrew D, I know you're not showing the website. I've been to the website, and I'm
Okay.
sorry I missed a little bit of information. Was there a code to put in for a certain price, or like I just missed that conversation you guys were having. I couldn't hear clearly. And then the other question I have is, you said there was a Mac version coming. So if we purchase the current version, what would the Mac version, if we wanted that as well?
The Mac version would be priced at the same price because we would not change the Mac version price.
Okay.
Yeah.
And is
Yeah.
that coming?
Maybe in another 2 months.
Okay. Very
Yeah.
good.
It's all ready, but we just wanted to first roll out the Windows version.
Yeah.
Mac version we'll be rolling out in another 2 months of time.
Okay. Very good.
Yeah.
I had a question.
Yes, please.
So I am really interested in astrology, and I'm also an engineering student. So it got me really interested that how is your AI able to do such accurate interpretation?
There was a lot of back-end training that we had to do with LLMs, and the technical team worked. I had to share a lot of my notes. We created a lot of from my notes, which were in Bengali, a lot of English stuff had to be written, and the AI, the large language machines, the LLMs had to be trained, and there were a lot of back-end work that went up. But as I said, that because of confidentiality agreements, I'm not able to say much on this. But yeah, a lot of back-end work went on in the last 10 months to make this happen, to make it work in the way how a real astrologer would churn it in his mind when he knows a lot of stuffs and he wants to churn it in his mind, and he would say something to the client that is going to make sense. How can we do it through a machine? That was the whole thought process.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, so this, now Pamrose, you're able to see the site. So this is the site, my friends. And if Simon G is around, I'll hand over to Simon G for the concluding remarks. But just in case Simon G is not there, I hope to see many of you benefited from this software. And as time will go by, we are going to keep on developing our backend engine. So it's not going to remain as a static software. It's not going to remain. It's going to keep on developing at the backend, and every month or so you will see the quality, quantity, and the value of the output increasing. Okay. So that's all from my side. I would like to thank each one of you for your time, patience, and the love that you have shown for me and the software. And I wish you all the best. Have a great weekend. Have a great Saturday, great Sunday tomorrow. And maybe we will see each other once again sometime very soon. Thank you very much.